Well, I think from our perspective, the sort of root problem is not always these new things like software supply chain or ransomware. The very basic thing is the basics of cybersecurity hygiene. And it's this type of problem that organizations have been facing for a number of years. There's a shortage of cybersecurity talent. So focusing on your cybersecurity hygiene process, focusing on having the talent and knowledge that's necessary to be able to understand your exposure and put some control around the exposure is really the biggest gap that we see across the industry today. Every time an organization makes a change by adding some new technology, maybe they're shifting from a data center they own into a cloud, that change represents some new uncertainty, some area that they might not completely understand. If they build a new application, maybe it's to streamline interaction with their customers or streamline interaction with their suppliers or internal processes, that new technology potentially represents a new attack point. So every change that the organization makes represents a way where they're sort of creating more exposure. And this cybersecurity hygiene process is all about understanding your exposure, taking appropriate actions for the areas that are the most dangerous parts. No, I would have to say that everyone can be a victim of a cybersecurity attack. There's nothing that's special or unique. I think when we talk to people who are in the threat intelligence space or in this process called threat hunting, they're trying to understand the mindset of the attacker. What is their business case? Why would they attack a certain area? And really, it gets down to these very basic things. It's either for monetary gain, whether it's a data breach and you can monetize the data that's stolen. It could be a ransomware where there's a ransom payment in order to unlock systems that have been locked up against the organization's wishes. Or it can be these nation state type of actors where there's some larger geopolitical gain to be had by exerting control over a different country or over the different commercial organizations within that country. So the gain from the threat actor side gives us clues about where the attacks might come from. And again, getting back down to this very basic thing of cybersecurity hygiene, do you know what your exposure is? Where could you be attacked? What are the techniques that are being used for the attacks? Those are the types of things that companies need to think about today if they're going to bolster their cybersecurity programs or their security operations.